Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I'm Karishma Asoodani and joining me today is Secretary, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Deepti Gaur Mukherjee. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us on India Today Television.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to start off by asking you, of course, the central government has been out there with a lot of programs on the skill development part, with the Prime Minister's internship scheme being at the helm of it. Since its announcement in October 2024, how has the scheme been evolving?
So, the Prime Minister's internship scheme, just to give you a small perspective of where it fits in, it was a part of the Prime Minister's package for employment, skilling and other opportunities. So, there are certain schemes and certain initiatives for the employment part, for the skilling part, and we fit into the other opportunities part. So, the scheme is essentially positioned to help youth improve their employability by learning from the top 500 companies of the country.
And are you happy with the response so far with the way pilot project is progressing?
So, if you read the budget announcement, so the target for this under the scheme is about 1 crore youth over the next 5 years. So, before we went into, because it's a new concept, it's a completely a new experiment which we are trying out in the field. So, we went for a pilot project, and under the pilot project what we were looking at is essentially about 1,25,000 lakh opportunities being offered to children across the entire country. So, our expectation more is in terms of what learnings we make from the pilot project, so that we are able to collate them and use them in the final rollout of the phase 1 of the scheme. So, our expectations are around the learnings we are making, whatever we can, garner from all the stakeholders, which includes the industry, the youth, the state governments, the national ministries. So, numbers, we're happy with the number of opportunities posted. The number of applications also was very encouraging. The number of joinings hasn't been to commensurate with the number of applications, but that's, like I said, it's a learning phase for us. So, it's a pilot project.
Right. Like you said, the part of the learning phase where the joinings were not as much as you expected, and that's normal, ma'am, because you've started with this and it's been the talk of the town for quite some time, and like you have said, it's progressing. In terms of data and latest numbers, what is the current dashboard looking like with the term in terms of the number of internships offered and the people who've accepted them?
Okay. So, like I said, we offered about, we in the sense, the companies. Yeah. So, like that it's targeted to the top 500 companies in terms of their average CSR spend over the last 3 years. In the first phase of the pilot project, we had about 275 to 280 companies participating, and they posted 1.25 lakh opportunities in the space of 3 weeks, which is really something tremendous, and I think the industry really deserves to be congratulated for that, the kind of response they came up with. Now, and the number of applications were about 6.21 lakh. The number of applicants, because we allowed each child to give about 5 preferences, we had about 1.81 lakh applicants who registered and then gave their applications. We had about 82,000 offers. Okay. So, that itself is a huge number.
That's quite a big number.
That's a huge number. And considering it's the first time that you're offering something like an internship, which is a completely novel concept, to children living across 745 districts of the country. It's not an urban centric offering of opportunities, it's to all remotest parts of the country. Okay, so 82,000 offers, out of which I think within the timeline which we have specified, because it was the first round of the pilot project, about 28,000 accepted the offers. All right, and about 40,000 didn't take a decision. So, they were in the process of deciding, but the aim is not to fill up 1.25 lakh opportunities all at one go. It's to fill up these opportunities over a period of time, over the entire span of the pilot project.
That's quite a connect, ma'am, that you have shared, and it's really fascinating that students and young professionals, I'd say, across the country have been coming in order to join this internship scheme, and the pilot project, like you said, until it goes on, it's going to be a phase of learning. Has the round 2 been better than round 1 in terms of acceptance and offers that the youth have taken in?
So, again, let me say that the pilot project will run out for almost the approval was for almost for a year. For a year.
For a year.
And the first round is over, which took us 2 months. Second round is on. Again, the opportunities which did not get filled in the first round, those have been changed to a certain degree. We found that the uptake and the acceptance was higher for graduates. And yes, okay. So that was because we had opportunities for 10th plus, 12th plus, ITI, Polytechnic and graduates. So it was the highest number was for 10th and the ITI in Polytechnic.
So there have been students who've come with just 10th class.
Yes, yes. So that's very important to understand. This is not a scheme which is so it's about increasing employability, like I said, right? So it's not aimed at children who are completely educated also. So the idea was the people who have lower employability or would I say that on the ladder of of skills, they probably are at the first 2 steps, so to say. So we have out of the first 1,25,000, we had about 35,000 opportunities for the graduates. We had about 27 to 29,000 for ITI and Polytechnics, and the rest were between the 10th and the 12th. So it was not as if it is not as if it's meant only for the graduates. And even in the graduates, we're not looking at graduates from professional degrees. So, or from elite institutions. It's about graduates who've done a normal BA or a BBA or a BCom or even a B Pharma. So, it's all about these kind of degrees which normally will never get an opportunity for an internship. So,
these could turn into jobs.
They may turn into jobs. We expect that if they perform well, and the industry actually is coming into with a lot of effort they're putting in, not only in terms of putting out the opportunities, but even in selecting and then mentoring the youth. So we've got a very encouraging response from the industry, and round 2 has begun. The application round is still going on. And after this round gets over, we'll have round 3. So it's an iterative process. It will keep going on till we are, when we think that, okay, now we've picked up enough learnings and we can go into phase 1 of the scheme.
Which is the launch of the scheme officially. You did talk about, clearly you have spoken that this is not about numbers, it's a learning phase, but you did talk about the challenges that existed in the beginning and still a lot of new things that you've been learning. Has this helped the MCA in terms of changing some norms in terms of eligibility criteria or any such other guidelines in order to have more and more people participate, and companies also give out more opportunities?
So I think it's too early to come to definitive conclusions as of now. We've been interacting very closely with the industry through CII and FICCI, with other ministries, our sister ministries, with state governments, with interns. So we've got a lot of suggestions from interns in terms of the kind of job roles they are looking at, or the kind of opportunities they are, wanting. Eligibility conditions at this stage, I think we would not be wanting to change them, because we want to test it out for a sufficient amount of time before we think of any changes. So I think right now it's the learning phase.
Ma'am, a lot of progress has been seen with the way pilot process is going on, but tell me a few fascinating stories that you have in your mind about interns coming in from different cities. I know that usually, ma'am, tier 1 cities, students from tier 1 cities get internships easily, and as a personal example, I've also got them easily, but are there any stories where people from different parts of the country, from tier 2, tier 3 cities coming in and joining?
Yes, in fact, like you remember, I said these opportunities were offered across 745 districts of the country, which includes tier 2, tier 3 cities, and they've been extremely heartwarming and heartening, experiences which interns have shared with us, which have really kept the entire team of the respective industries as well as the implementing machinery extremely motivated. So just to share a couple of these such of experiences. So there's an experience of a boy from a very remote district of Odisha, where he has done his ITI in mobile repairing. So, and he had set up his shop. So when he got this opportunity with a leading telecom company, he gave his shop to his brother to run, and said, I want to gain hands-on experience of whatever is the latest in that sector. Also in terms of what the industry is thinking about the future of expansion, all of those kind of, and new technology and all that. So he picked up everything really fast, and when I met him, he was so full of confidence. So I said that, will you if you get an offer from either this company or some other company, would you like to pick up that offer, or do you want to continue doing your own? So he was absolutely clear. He said that he will set up his own shop, whatever he has right now, and he'll expand it, and he'll hire people, because he said he sees the market is huge, it's growing, and he's learning a lot. So that was a very interesting perspective which we got. Then there was this boy from UP who was doing his BCom, I think, and like youngsters. So he was doing some trading and he lost his money in trading. So he was under a bit of a depression, and his parents told him that he must go for this internship. So he worked with again a leading BFSI company, and not only is he out of his momentary mental depression state or whatever, but he was so gung-ho about whatever he's learned in these 2 months' time in terms of the techniques of, or even to how to understand markets, what are the financials, what you should be looking. And believe me, and please remember, he's a BCom. So he knows market, he knows balance sheets, but how he can read beyond balance sheets, how he can do industry analysis is something which he's picked up. And he also has ambitions of setting up his own broking firm. Then there was this completely different again, B Pharma. There's this girl from Mirzapur who's doing her B Pharma, and her internship is in Dadar Nagar Haveli. So this company actually called up her parents and a couple of the other children who are studying with her when they offered her the internship, and they flew her down. And for her parents to send her all this way was a difficult choice, but along with the industry convincing and this girl's own urge to do something, she came, and she's very happy with whatever she's learning in this present opportunity. So these are very interesting stories which we've got, and the kind of roles which are being offered to interns, it really tells us a lot of the way the industries are thinking in terms of getting their new set of new age, I would say, skills to be actually fructifying. So it's very interesting.
These are great success stories to talk about, and while you have said these experiences are building up for a brighter future for them, not just getting offers for a full-time employment from such companies, but making companies out of such internships and experiences. Would you agree, ma'am, that there is a change in thought, change in strategy of the scheme? Because earlier we were talking, at least while the scheme was launched, the scheme was presented, it was more about numbers, but now it's taken a turn in terms of more about skill enhancement and getting more and more people matched with the right job.
So the scheme has not been about numbers. It's never just about the numbers. It's about increasing employability of an X amount of people. And employability means that you enhance your skills such that either you are placed, either you go for wage employment, or you go for self-employment, or you go for entrepreneurship. So it's a whole plethora of options which are there before you. And the whole objective of the scheme is just to improve your employability by giving you hands-on experience. And then the decision is with the youth. See the age group, it's 21 to 24. At that age, you are at the cusp of your working, what do you say, the period of your life. You're entering the workforce. So you're not a child. You know exactly what you want, what you don't want. You know your choices, you know your preferences. So if you get the best opportunities and you get them with the sector, in the sector of your choice, in the company of your choice, then whether you get placed in the same company, or whether with a certificate which you're getting, you get placed in a sister company, or you go out to set up something on your own, I think the purpose is served. The ultimate objective is to enhance the employability.
Enhance the employability, your primary objective. Are you content with the pace?
In sense of the numbers who are joining in, yes,
you are,
because we are learning a lot. So the whole objective of both the industry and the ministry is on having qualitative outcomes, and qualitative outcomes can only come in when you give it enough time for all the dynamics and all the factors to play out. In 15 days time or in a month's time, you can't get results, right?
Fair enough.
And even over a period of 1 year, what happens when the youth is actually going out and training? What are the mentorships, experiences they are having? You know, we're looking at having learning communities where the people who are the learning, you know, who are interns, they actually come together and share their experiences. You know, I mean, you're a young girl, okay? So you know that when you go to a premier institution, it's not about what you're learning from the teacher or the lecturer. It's what you're learning from your peers, right? So you learn a lot from peers. So we are all building in all these components into the project, into the pilot project, so that we are able to see what the results are.
Okay. Do you have more interest from the companies, ma'am, or do you think it's fine currently with the top 500?
So the way the scheme is structured, the training expenditure and the monthly allowance, out of that, which we are giving about 5,000 monthly allowance, 500 comes from CSR, and the entire training expenditure has to come from CSR. So it's a voluntary scheme, right? So in the first round of the pilot project, we had about 280 companies who participated. In the second round, the number of companies who have participated has gone up to about 325, 327, and the number is increasing. So it's as and when the companies figure out where exactly they want to offer the opportunities, what are the job roles, because it offers them a lot of flexibility.
Right.
Unlike other schemes, which are also very much required, this scheme gives you the industry the opportunity to come up with a training program or internship program which is completely flexible, and come up with job roles which are absolutely new age. Like another example, like when we went to Calcutta, I met this girl who's a digital marketing specialist. And what is she? She's a BA English. So when we asked her the company, she's working for a very good company, according to her and according to us also. So she looks at social influencers, how she can use social influencers to do promotion of the products of the company, right? Now this is something, this kind of a job role or this kind of a role is something which is extremely new, right? It doesn't have a structured curriculum or a structured course or anything like that. So for the company also to have that flexibility to, to keep on changing as they're going along, I think this scheme gives you that kind of flexibility. And since it's CSR and it's corporate social responsibility, so the spirit with which the companies, I've been very heartened by that, coming forward to develop new kind of job roles, and even looking at, maybe after 2 years, because things are changing so much. Within 2 years' time, what kind of role will be required? Right? So they are already thinking on those lines, and they're trying out those curriculums. They're doing mentoring. So I think that is a very important aspect of the scheme.
Ma'am, do you foresee that probably post the official launch, there could be a higher budget estimate that we may have to allocate for this? Right now, it may be at a slower pace, but because that is also it's a pilot project, it may not be fully utilized.
I think budget is not an issue. We've got enough funds in the last year's budget also, even for the next year's budget. So let's see. Let's not assume. Let's not say that. I am very optimistic.
Great. As we come to the end of this interview, one last question, and I'd say very honestly, it's like a woman on mission on Prime Minister's internship scheme. Tell me a bit about your team at MCA who's working on this. How huge is the workforce?
So we are a very, very small and lean team.
Young team?
Yes, young team, because we want to have, we want to have our fingers on the right pulse. So we have a very young team, and we've since it's a ministry which hasn't hasn't been at the forefront of implementing schemes, so to say. So we have taken all those who are interested in this sector from various parts of within the cadre, which is the ICLS cadre, as well as from our other sister organizations or the organizations which are under MCA. So it's a small team, but yes, as we go on to the full phase rollout, of course, we'll be putting in a proper structure in place.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, ma'am, for speaking with us on India Today Group. It's a pleasure, and we wish you luck on this mega scheme that the youth of India is looking forward to.
Thank you so much, Karishma.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.